And so the world begun. Long, long ago, before time begun, there were no rivers or mountains, no streams or hills. There was nothing to see at all, nothing but darkness. But God was there, and into this darkness, God commanded light. So the very first day begun. Then God started to make the seas, and in between the seas He made dry land, covering it with all kinds of trees and plants. Over all this, God placed a dazzling sun to shine by day and a shimmering moon to shine by night. He studded the sky with billions of twinkling stars, and so the world began. Then God filled the seas with fish of many colors. He added creeping crabs, sly shark, and huge wallowing whales. Above the land, He made birds soar and swoop, dip, and loop, beautiful butterflies, busy bees, and buzzing bats fill the air. All over the land, God made animals of every kind. He made them to gallop and throw, to loop and hop. Then God created the very first man and woman, Adam and Eve, trusting them to care for all the creatures. Everything was happy and contented. It had taken 6 days to complete this new world. So, on the seventh day, God decided to set it apart as a day of rest called the Sabbath day. They were no longer perfect. In one special place, God laid out a garden for Adam and Eve to live in. It was full of lovely, lush plants and fantastic flowers. Sparkling streams bubbled up from the ground, and every tree was covered with delicious fruit for Adam and Eve to eat. So many different types of animals live in the garden that it took Adam many hours to give each one a name. Gecko, gibbon, giraffe, gorilla, herd, hippo, horse, hyena, etc. Adam and Eve lived happily in the Garden of Eden, caring for it and the creatures that lived there. They had everything they needed. In the center of the garden grew a special tree. It was called the Tree of Knowledge. God made it very clear that this tree was different to all the others' tree. You must not eat the fruit of this tree, God warned Adam and Eve. You can eat fruits from all the others, but if you eat fruit from this one, bad things will happen. And for the time, Adam and Eve did as they were told. But there was a cunning snake living in the Garden of Eden who wanted to play a trick on Eve. One day, the snake saw Eve standing by the tree of knowledge. It slithered up to her, whispering softly, "Look at the lovely fruit." "I mustn't touch it," Eve said. Smell how sweet it is," the snake hissed. "God told us to leave it alone," Eve protested. "Ha," laughed the snake. "Ha, ha, ha. God doesn't want you to know the things He does, the things that are good and the things that are evil. Eve looked at the delicious fruit, wondering what it would be like to know all that God knew. Reaching out, she picked a juicy looking fruit and took a bite. Then she passed it to Adam for him to try. From that moment on, things started to go wrong. When God spoke to Adam and Eve that night, He knew what they have done. He was angry and told them to leave the garden at once. As Adam and Eve left, God sent an angel to stop them from returning. When they had lived in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve had everything they needed, and they would never had grown old there. Now, all that had changed, everything that they ever needed. They had to work hard and knew that one day they would die. God's world was no longer that perfect world. Please stay tuned as I continue to read the stories of God's words. God bless you, and thanks for listening.